All right, my next guest will face Trey Williams on November the 27th at Firepower 3. And of course, is Aaron Phillips back on the show. Aaron, how are you?
I'm good. Good. Happy to be here.
Yes, sir. It's nice to see you. And it looks sunny and warm where you're at right now. I'm freezing my butt off up here in New England. So what's the weather like where you're at?
It's nice. It's like a nice little breeze going and not too hot. When I first got here, it was humid and hot, and I was sweating every time I stepped outside. It was rough.
So where exactly are you right now?
I'm in Houston, Cypress, Texas, and I came down here in July, like mid-July, I think, and took some adjusting to the weather, but it's been pretty good. It's been good to me. I know a lot of good gyms out here.
So are you specifically like primarily at one gym, or are you kind of bouncing around? Like, tell me what training has been like for you.
Since I've been down here, I went to Woodlands for a bit and trained with Ricky wasn't there, unfortunately, with the time I went there, and I went there a couple times, and and that was just to check it out. And but mainly I've been at Gracie Barra Champions, which is kind of about like the midway point from my place to the Woodlands, and then there and the gym in the Gracie Barra and Katy. And so I've been getting a lot of looks and a lot of different guys, and the training is so much. There's so much. It's like my brain's gonna explode from everything I'm learning. It's wild.
Do you feel like Texas could be, a permanent move, where you're going to be here long term?
Texas, I see it as like a long-term thing. I love it here. It's, the lack of sidewalks is kind of troubling. Like, I was just like, man, you go out for a run or something and you're like, all right, well, I got to figure out how to weave through this traffic before so I can get over there to those trails. But it's a good time. It's huge. That's kind of an adjustment. It's really big. I thought Anchorage in Alaska was really big, but that's a town compared to this. And definitely getting used to it.
That's awesome, man. What's the weather like back in Anchorage right now?
I'm not sure about Anchorage, but I keep seeing things about in Kotzebue where I was. That's like it's like in the negatives, I think, like -10 or something. And it's like, now I'm glad I left. I ain't trying to train in negative weather. Never again.
I'm with you there, man. You can leave the training in snow and negative temperatures to Rocky and Rocky 4, and you can be down here in Texas where it's nice and hot, right?
Yeah, I'm done trying to do that. That was already too hard. I'm mentally tough enough, I guess.
Good for you. Well, I wanted to ask you too, man. Your next fight here, November the 27th, is 2 days after Thanksgiving. That, for me, if I was a fighter, would be a little challenging because Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday of the year. I mean, it's family, it's turkey, all kinds of great food. So what is your Thanksgiving going to be like? Are you waiting to maybe go back home and be with your family and gorge afterwards? Because you probably can't do a whole lot prior to with your fight coming up.
It's most of my fights, I've had, well, probably, I think most of them have been around Thanksgiving holiday seasons, so that's always been rough for me. But as far as like Thanksgiving goes, I'm always like, celebrate the week after, be thankful any day, just throw a bunch of food on the table and I'm in. So definitely looking forward to the crazy amount of eating and the Thanksgiving food. It'll probably be discounted since I'm eating a week later, but I can't really complain. It's not too much of a big deal. It'd be nice to be back with the family here in Houston, my girlfriend and stuff, just spend time with her, but get this done and we can enjoy the Thanksgiving holiday the week after.
I don't mean to torture you by talking about food too much. I mean, you're coming into weight cutting time and whatnot, but what will be the go-to plates and everything that you want to indulge on when you do have that Thanksgiving time after the fight?
Oh, sweet potato casserole, man. That's something like my girlfriend's, she's been making that the last couple of years, and she put it out in front of me. She says, "You're not making weight this fight." And she put it out. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I am." She put it out. That's I'm done. I ain't making weight. That stuff's so good. I can't say no. It's like a pack of Oreos.
There you go. Well, hopefully you'll get this win. You'll be able to eat whatever you want post fight and enjoy yourself. I did want to ask you too, man. I haven't spoken to you since well before you went on the Ultimate Fighter. That must have been one heck of an experience. Unfortunately you lost that fight to Petrovsky, but you were on Team Volkanovski, the featherweight champion, one of the best fighters on planet Earth. Just tell me what that whole experience was like and what you took from it to make you a better fighter moving forward.
So the TUF, yeah. So getting on TUF was pretty interesting because it kept canceling because of COVID, and we're just always kind of staying ready, keeping our, trying to watch what you eat and stuff and be healthy and everything. And that was like a whole year and a half of just never knowing if the show's gonna air. And then we get on the show, and it was wild because I left a month before the show even started airing. I went to Denver to train. I was like, all right, I got to get some bodies to move around. I got to get in an actual gym. I want to be really ready for this because then this was I think in March. Yeah, I left March and trained in Denver for all of April just for the show. And then we get on the show, and it was a dream come true for me. I coming from Kotzebue, no gyms or nothing. I got my roommate at the time as a training partner. He had little to no experience. I don't think he's ever taken a fight, if I remember correctly. But it was, for me, it was a lot of fun. I was trying to get as much training in as I can and and just be there. And the loss at the beginning was kind of, a bit of a blessing at the same time as it was. Of course, we want to win the whole thing, but I got to really focus on training and just being there for everybody else. And it was fun to get to meet all these other fighters and open a bunch of doors. Yeah, it was but tough for me. It was hard not talking to the family, like our families and stuff, but it was definitely really cool to be on the show. Just now I'm just kind of etched in there forever.
Yeah, about it, man. What did you take away from that loss to Petrovsky? Obviously, he's a tough fighter himself. I mean, if you were to tangle with him again, down the line, do you feel like things would be different? I'm sure you've evolved since we saw you on the Ultimate Fighter. So, what did you take from that setback to him?
I took it pretty hard at the time, but I've been down here in Houston since July, and I've been just grinding, just jujitsu all day, every day, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm learning so much. I feel the fight would be so much different. It wouldn't come down to like I'd get on the ground and be lost. I'd be like, all right, well now I know what to do. So, so I think if we ever fought again, it'd be a lot different. He's definitely looking a lot better on the feet, a little more aggressive on the feet, and from the fights I've seen since he's been in the UFC. And that'd make it definitely a lot more interesting because we'd be throwing a lot more at each other. But as far as like the takedowns and the ground game go, I think I'd be pretty confident in not being finished this next time around if we ever had another go at it. So I don't know, but there's still a lot to learn. I'm just starting. It's the level I'm at now. I feel like I would just go and take my own lunch. The tough post-TUF air, and I'd take the guy's food and be like, no, I'm eating this. So it's I definitely feel like a different animal, and I think if we ever fought again, it'd definitely be way different.
All right. So Volkanovski, I mean, featherweight champion. The guy's the man. Scale of 1 to 10. How good of a coach is he? How much fun was that for you to have him as your coach and just learn from him in that whole season?
Give him 1. Oh wait, no, 10's the best, right? No, he was really good. I like the way they coached and the way they like talked to you and just kind of just the banter, just kind of kept you positive all the time, and you're always going there. You're like, all right, let's go to work. It's not like you're like sometimes you're like I remember in like wrestling, you're like, oh man, I gotta go to practice today. Like I don't want to go. But like them, it was like, all right, let's go, let's get after it, and go hang out with the champ for a bit. And it was always a lot of fun because they're really involved. That's the thing. They're really involved with their training and their athletes and stuff, and just the way they talk and the manners and stuff and how they carry themselves really picks up the room.
Did the cameras bother you? Like, did that affect anything while you were there? Because I got to imagine it must be difficult to have cameras there all the time, during the whole, however many weeks you were there at the Tough House.
Oh yeah, it was definitely an adjustment. I think about like up to about like the fourth week we were there, like literally like winding down. Just kind of that's when it was just that's when it finally for me just kind of went away. I was like, yeah, I stopped looking at them, I stopped noticing them. But I mean, it was definitely really hard because I have a lot of trouble like just recording myself, like even if no one's ever gonna see like something, if I'm like making a TikTok or like if I was gonna make a TikTok or something and make a TikTok video and like record myself doing a dance, I'd be like, even if I put in the drafts and no one ever saw it, it'd struggle for me. Like I'd be like really hard for me to do. And so being there, it's the giant super HD camera in your face, and I'm like, oh my God. So you just kind of figure out how to get rid of them a little bit and know what they can't record. So we would, a lot of times the guys would sing. It was definitely an adjustment though. They could have shown a lot more because like the amount of stuff they recorded, I feel like they left out a lot of good stuff in the show, but at the same time made us look all really professional and really good. So, can't complain too much.
No doubt about it, man. You guys definitely all look very good on this season. One last question before we move on. Who had the best prank on the season? For me, it had to have been Ortega with the snakes, because if I was a fighter or someone just there at the house and he brought all those exotic snakes in, I would have flipped out. I do not like those things, and they were gigantic, man. So how does that rank as far as best prank, or who had the best prank of the season?
That was definitely really good. I would say theirs took the cake, just because I mean I feel like the production team was helping them out a little bit or something. I think Volk said something about it too, but we were like, they were trying to figure something out, plan something, and just nothing ever came up, and they had all these snakes and like took the wheels off his car and put horses there and the donkey, and it was really fun. It was definitely a lot of fun. The snakes didn't bother me too much, just because I like snakes. So, but if I was like a 135 pounder, no, I probably wouldn't get close, because the guy was saying something about like they eat like 150 pounds worth of food or something like that in a meal, and I was like, nah. if I'm a 35 pounder, I'm not going near that thing. It's gonna eat me.
Yeah, no, thank you. I would have been Usain Bolt. I would have been gone out of there, lickety split, if I was around when that prank happened. But yeah, awesome season, man. It was fun watching all you guys on there. Now, as far as what you're doing right now, down there in Texas and training, are you just training full time, or do you have a job that you're doing as well to kind of balance things out and pay the bills?
I'm just training full time. I've been down here. My girlfriend, she's working. She worked for the school down here and teaching, and I'm just been working the whole time, and not working, but training the whole time. And it's just kind of what the focus is. For her and I, it's we were like, all right, we got to leave Alaska since the TUF show, and we got to figure out how you can progress. So we're trying to figure out where we're gonna go. But I talked to Ricky on the show. He's from here, and he talked so highly of it. And and my girlfriend, she's from here. She's from Houston. So it's kind of familiar for her to be here. And I was like, yeah, well, let's do that. We got a pretty good little system there, and your mom's there. She could help us out. And just so I'm going to start working at the gym here soon. But not until after the fight. Mm-hmm. So stay focused on this, and then maybe after the fight, maybe get some work, but also just try to focus on the training full time until I can get to that next level.
Well, that's awesome, man. If you can just train full time, that's as good as it gets, and it's just going to make you become a better mixed martial artist that much faster. Now, as far as going into this fight here, after being on The Ultimate Fighter, do you feel like you have a target on your back? Like, people are probably looking to maybe make their name off of you. Do you feel that pressure going into this fight?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because since the show, I've been to a couple gyms, and it seems like some people go a little, I'm watching people like spar and stuff, and they're like going kind of light, and then they come in on me, and I'm like, man, you're throwing some heat. Holy cow. And it's, this just feel like people just, kind of get kind of excited. They're like, oh, this guy's, he's on The Ultimate Fighter. He's probably, this no good. So they go on there just trying to really impress you or impress somebody. But yeah, it's just being on the show, coming back, my first fight, I feel like I do have to kind of make a statement and get at least at the very least get the win. And I'm prepared for it. I'm going into this more confident than I've ever been. I think I'm ready. I could step up for it. So.
Awesome. I love it. Now, November 27th, Firepower 3 is going to be in Sacramento, California. Who's going to be in your corner come fight night? Who's going to be making the trip with you to Cali?
So my brother is heading down from Alaska actually to for the fight for Thanksgiving, kind of just watch the fight. And I'm going to have him in my corner, someone familiar, someone I'm comfortable with. I'm also comfortable with my coaches here, but the ticket pricings on holidays, that's some rough stuff. And so we're gonna end up get him down there, and we'll just get it done. A couple of brothers, boxing and MMA, just joining forces.
All right, man, I love it. And your opponent, Trey Williams, he's 4-1. His only loss is to Anthony Hernandez, who UFC fighter. So when you look at him, and what he brings to the table stylistically, what kind of a matchup are you expecting come fight night?
I'm thinking, from what I've seen of him, it's not very much because his fights are pretty short. But I think he's gonna come out and he's gonna try to grind away and get at he just wants to get after it, and that's kind of fight, it'd be a fun fight, regardless of what happens. But I think I'm gonna pull out the win. So if he comes out strong, it's just gonna have to weather the storm and pick him apart from there. But I just think he's gonna go out and he's gonna be tough. And not knowing what I don't know what I'm gonna expect actually, because from what I've seen, he could have changed because it's been 2 years since he's fought. So he could have changed a big time, and the way he's fighting, and he could probably be uncomfortable in there, or he could be totally comfortable in there. So you never know what's gonna happen.
And you said you want to make a statement here in this fight, and ultimately, if you do get the win, where's your head at as far as goals for 2022? Where do you see yourself in a year or so? Can we expect to maybe see you on Contender Series or even straight into the UFC? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking after this fight, if I get a big win here, and nothing comes up December, January, I'll probably take December off, but be in the talks for something. So once January comes around, just really start hunkering down and, think about what our next steps are. But if I have to take another fight, regional promotion fight, and get another big win on that, then I will. But the goal is to get signed to the UFC and, be competitive there and just continue this dream.
Awesome, man. I look forward to watching you keep evolve, my friend. Again, Aaron Phillips meets Trey Williams, November the 27th at Firepower 3. Aaron, pleasure chatting with you again. Before I let you go, I want to give you the floor. Tell people where to follow you on social media, and if you have anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
All right, I'd like to thank everybody at Dodge Sports and my family, my girlfriend, everybody, all my sponsors. And if you want to follow me on social media, Aaron Phillips MMA, not Head Kicks, which is the other Aaron Phillips. He's a 135er. All right, I'm big sexy at 185. Yeah, just tune in at Firepower and watch me fight.